Rebellions are built on hope.
And welcome to another episode of Radio Rebellion, a Star Wars podcast. I'm your host, Alberto Calderon, and with us, as always, is our co-host, Oti. There he is, a little busy.
Hi.
Welcome to another Star Wars Saturday. Finally, we got something to talk
Being
about,
fed.
Oti. How are you doing today, Oti?
I'm doing good. It's been a productive day.
All right, that's always good. I took a nap around 2:30 in the afternoon, so can't say it was a productive day. Just took a 30-minute nap. So
I went to the gym.
Oh,
I went
nice.
shopping for a minute. Yeah, did some laundry.
I didn't do any of that. I had a bit of a headache earlier. I ate 2 alcapurrias, Oti, so you'll be proud of me. Yes, I'm ready to go today. So that woke me up very quick. Delicioso. All right, we just found out a care package that my in-laws sent us from Puerto Rico, obviously back in, I think it was in Monday. We just tracked it. It's in Alaska for some reason. Yeah, just flew right over the States, over Canada. Let's go to Alaska because that makes sense.
Alaska?
Of all places. Because they sent, Marjorie has a brother down in South Florida, and they got theirs today. So we're like, okay, where's ours? Let's track it. It's in Anchorage. And like 2 days ago in Anchorage.
I mean, like sometimes packages in Puerto Rico will go to Tennessee, I think, or Kentucky, one of those two.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because, like, due to demand, it's better if they sort it over there or something. But
sure.
Alaska?
Dude, what the hell? Sometimes I hate it when things come from some other states up north and it just goes straight through Gainesville to Orlando and they just have to come back on. Like, but why? Just stop. But Alaska, of all places, we're going to Hoth. All right, So if you're joining us today,
it's gonna be cold.
Yeah, someone is eating our bimbo cookies right now. So
what do they send on that care package? I'm curious.
Any candy or treats that we usually don't find here. So
like
panties, bimbo, sometimes. At the beginning, they used to send us pilones.
Wait, there's not bimbo? Is that over there?
Nah, not in Gainesville. If you go to a Latin stores, and there's I think 2 close by, you might find some, but no.
I think I've seen them in Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah. I mean, down there you'll find them a lot easier than here.
That's basically Puerto Rico.
It's the same thing. Make sure you comment down below if you're watching it for the first time. Thanks for being here. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. And when we do our audio podcast later today, and then next week again, just another reminders are Star Wars podcast. They celebrating 25 years of the Phantom Menace. I almost say it's Force Awakens. She's almost 10 years now already. Before we get to that, thanks, Oti, for having me on your Bad Wolf Network podcast earlier this week. Had a lot of fun talking about the Doctor Who 60th anniversary specials. Make sure to check that out when it comes out next week. A lot of fun. Thanks to you and Tony for having me.
It was a ton of fun, and I can't wait for everyone to listen.
Yeah. So where are you at? I know you're with Capaldi. Are you still in his first season or you're already in his second?
No, I'm still in his first season. I'm taking my time with it because, I have a lot of work. And since I'm integrating exercising in the morning, I have to go to bed early. So usually I'm like, can I watch a Who episode? Oh, it's going to be over by 11. No, it's not going to work. But I think, what was the last episode? I can't remember if this was the last one, but it was one of the last ones I saw. The one where he's the caretaker at Clara's school.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That episode was hilarious. Like, he had I usually put my favorite line of the episode on Twitter. I put 3 because he was just so funny. I'm loving Peter Capaldi as a
Yeah, I was just going over some of his episodes are coming. I saw the next season 8, I think it is. Dude, that second half, that back half of that season is just banger after banger.
Really?
I can't wait. Yeah.
Oh, I'm excited then.
It's gonna be great.
I'm trying to check where I left off. Go ahead.
All right. So while you check that, let me see who's in the chat. So thanks to Dale for being here as always. Thank you, Dale, reminding everyone to click on all things. Yeah, bells, notifications, everything. Just click on it. And our friend Brennan is here. Thank you, Brennan, for joining us. And yes, speculate responsibly. We're going to be doing a lot of that today. All right, so while Oti finishes looking for that over there, if you guys are ready, I'm not ready. Let's talk Star Wars, and we're starting with a little bit of Star Wars news.
Star Wars news.
Oti, Star Wars news, and we're going back to Star Wars movie news, which I gotta put some music on that one. But I think this is the third straight week that we started with something regarding the Rey Skywalker New Jedi Order movie, and thank God it's always been something positive. We'll keep going in that route. There was an interview with Daisy Ridley. She's promoting her new movie that's already out in theaters. Sometimes I Think About Dying, I think is the name of it. She had an interview with Variety, and of course Star Wars came up as a topic, and there were some interesting comments and bits that kind of came out of it. So she was asked about starting the first Star Wars movie directed by a female director, Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy, and how this would impact the series. And then Daisy really goes on to say, the short answer is I don't know. I'm excited to do the job, but not because Sharmeen is a woman. Her documentaries are amazing. Her idea for this story is cool as shit. No spoilers, but she gave me a rundown of the entire story. If it weren't amazing, I would have been like, okay, come in 5 years, but it's worthwhile. So two very cool things from that little answer. First one is kind of putting to bed oh yeah, it's just a female director. So this down there, when you got the main actor coming, yeah, it's great that we have a female director. That's not why I signed up. I signed up because of the story, and it's cool as hell. Or it's cool as shit. Just to, I don't want to put words in her mouth. I'll say what she said. So very excited that she has that kind of mentality, and also saying if it wasn't a cool idea, I wouldn't come. Like, yeah, come in 5 years or whatever. So you're excited to hear every week. Daisy really seems to be more and more excited about what's coming. Even if she hasn't read the whole script, the idea for it has her very excited.
I mean, I think the script is still not done. From what I remember, Steven Knight is doing his second draft of the script, so God knows when that'll be ready. Am I excited? Yeah, like every time she talks about it, she sounds excited. So why wouldn't I be excited? There's more things in that interview that I love. So it's cool to hear that she, that when you hear cursing, that's like when okay.
Yeah. There was another interview that came out today, and I don't have any of the quotes, but the interviewer, the person that wrote this story, said, yeah, this movie is slated to come out in 2026. I don't know. I think that's a little bit far-fetched because, like you just mentioned, the script is still going through rewrites as it should, just to make sure we get the best story out there. I don't know. I think 2026. I think what I'm trying to get to is don't expect this to. It's coming soon. It's like, just take their time.
I think 2026 could still be realistic if they start shooting early 2025. They could land that date. We'll see. I wouldn't get my hopes up, but I think it's realistic.
Yeah, I mean, they have the general idea for this story. So I'm pretty sure pre-production is working hard on creatures and designs and all this stuff. So at least that's probably.
By the way, if you think about it, Force Awakens got announced in 2012, late 2012, and came out in 2015. So 3 years. If it came out in 2026, it would be 3 years since it got announced. So could make sense.
Yeah, about 2 days ago, I think 2 or 3 days ago, I got one of those Facebook reminders or notification from 3 years ago. It was like, it's official. J.J. Abrams is doing The Force Awakens. So yeah, maybe. What do I know about making movies? Nothing. But one thing that I do know that we keep saying every time we talk about the Jedi Order movies, of course, that Rey Boyer is going to come back. Of course, they make sense to bring Poe and Ben Solo. We'll see if that works, but come on. She was asked about returning to the franchise without co-stars Adam Driver, John Boyega, and Oscar Isaac, to which she gave a cryptic answer. No, because I don't know what is what or who is who in the new movie. And okay, I gotta go. Time's up. My plane is waiting.
She literally like put the question into another direction after that.
Another direction. Talking about her time doing kind of growing in the industry. So does this kind of, I don't know, get your hopes up or get you to thinking, okay, there's something, there's not just the two of us wishing to the stars.
I believe that she doesn't know. I could honestly believe that, especially since she hasn't read a script. I could imagine Charmaine being like, yeah, so this is gonna happen. If we can get John, then this could happen. Things like that. But I don't know. I don't think there's a reality where Lucasfilm isn't trying to bring them on. Like, honestly,
let's put Brennan's comment again. Speculate responsibly,
but I like. Hey, maybe Rey isn't the titular character in this movie, and it's something else. She's just there to anchor it in something we know. But like, I don't think so. It's Rey. So, but again, I really think Lucasfilm is gonna try to have them back because it just makes sense. Like, it would make more sense to have them there than not have them there.
Yeah, try to explain why the big heroes are not there, just in a throwaway line.
And no, remember, Finn is in that deep space mission for the next 10 years.
And not to dig too much into it, because people follow each other on social media every day.
I saw it. Don't do
but
that.
We'll do it. We're speculating responsibly. When the director follows John Boyega on Instagram, then people are going to start trying to put things together, including myself.
I don't know if this happens in American sports, but in soccer, like every time a player follows another player from another team or follows another team, everyone's like, oh, here we go.
The trade. I mean, it could just be, hey, I'm on the family, let me just follow John. Maybe they're working on something else. It's just the timing. It's the timing of it.
She's a good director. He's a good actor. They would like to make movies together at some point.
So another thing that you can say this puts a little wrench in everything is that John Boyega just signed up to...
I don't think that puts a wrench in anything.
So let me finish.
Say it.
So I think it is Book of Eli, right? He's going to sign up to do a prequel. Is it a series or a movie?
I think it's a series.
Okay, so a series to do a prequel to Book of Eli. What comes first? How much she might have to do in the Rey movie? We don't know. But here's hoping.
This and even with a lot of franchise things, like, oh no, he's busy doing so. This is Star Wars. If he wants to do it, he's gonna do it. They'll find a way to do it. Every time a studio says, "Oh, it's scheduling issues," it's total bullshit. That's my curse word for the day. That's never the actual reason, because if they want to work together, they're gonna make it happen. So. Look at Pedro Pascal. He's
I was going to say
a ton of things, and every time, his schedule is so conflicted. Yes, but Star Wars is Star Wars. Like, you're gonna make time for that.
And Daisy really has another movie that she's gonna start shooting soon anyway, so it still works.
Yeah.
John Boyega, he's coming back. I'll say mark it. What time is it? It's at 5:15 on January 27th.
I'm not a betting man, but I think all three of them are gonna be there.
Yeah, it's like you said. Makes more sense for them to be there than not. All right, so what I love is that we keep getting more and more.
Not to say that they can't find a way to tell this story. Just putting it out there. If it doesn't happen, I don't want people. Oh, you're convincing yourself because you said that. No.
Unless we come out, unless we're here in 3 years saying this movie still because the other heroes weren't there, then okay, that's our fault.
That scene was laughable, how they handled Poe.
Oh, let's just move on. All right, Ote, another thing that we kept saying here, and we said it last week, it's when is the next Star Wars story coming? When is the next news item? Because we've been waiting. They're going to start announcing, they're going to start showing us things, and we got it. So we're back to that segment we call Star Wars on TV.
Star Wars on TV.
That was just for you. I knew you're gonna love that little.
Thank you.
Mouse race.
My favorite scene in all of Star Wars.
All right, we finally got the trailer for the Bad Batch Season 3. Not only trailer, we got the release date February 21st. It's gonna be a 3-episode premiere. It's gonna go all the way to May 1st. We also got the episode titles. yeah, it's a long season. I think 14 episodes. We have those three to start the season or the finale, and then two more halfway through it, I believe. I didn't write down the episode titles. It's too much to go through it. I'm surprised that we already, because people are already making up their minds of what's going to happen each week. So you saw it there. We'll go through it, but the big reveal at the end, the return of Asajj Ventress, it's a pretty big one. Pretty
It
big
is.
reveal.
It is.
I
No?
Okay, so I wasn't the biggest fan of season two. I loved what I'm seeing so far. I've kind of put all my negative thoughts, I'm gonna say, about the way I enjoy or the way I watch the Bad Batch. I'm gonna go into it with a different mindset. So hopefully, I'll enjoy it a little bit more. But one thing that they always do is put out great trailers. And this trailer starts with a little bit of action with Hunter and Wrecker, very similar to season two trailer when we saw something similar with those giant crabs that were following them. And then it starts hitting you with the emotional beats. Omega's been waiting for us for too long. We got Rex, we got Cat Bane, everyone. So a lot of things happen. We see poor Crosshair all beaten down. Omega's right there still being tested, or we don't know what's going on. And the Emperor comes out with some weird message. So we'll go through it. And then, of course, ends with the big reveal at the end. Just overall thoughts before we get into it about just watching this trailer for the first time.
I was alone in my office when it dropped, and I had like this moment with that final scene. Like
Yeah.
I genuinely was like too ecstatic. I think I gasped and everything. It was a cool trailer.
Yeah.
A lot of Palpatine. Like I think that's just like one scene.
Yeah.
But like I was surprised on how prominent he was in the trailer. Excited to see this group back together, hopefully. And I mean that Asajj thing, like
One thing that Star Wars does a lot is those first trailers, even when they do multiple trailers, they don't give us too much in terms of the whole season. It's usually the first few episodes.
they're actually pretty good with trailers.
Yeah. So if most of what we just saw happens, let's say in the first 3 to 4, even 5, because this is a long season, we're in for a big one. But yeah, that reveal of Asajj Ventress, I know a lot of people got it as soon as they heard her voice. I wasn't one of them. But when the reveal came, I was like, oh crap, Ventress is back. I like the character. I'll be honest, I like the character. I'm not over the moon. Like, yes, fine, I've been waiting for this. I read Dark Disciple because you and a bunch of people were bullying
you
me
read
about
it?
it. Yeah.
Did you like it? I can't remember this.
We talked a little bit about it. I said it just felt like I'm reading a Clone Wars kind of arc, which
That's
I understand
literally what it is.
that's what it is. So yeah, it's not my favorite book. It's not gonna be in my top 10 anytime soon. There's some cool bits in it, and I'm glad that we get another cool Star Wars character because it opens up a lot of possibilities, and we're gonna discuss those. So, first thought: you've read Dark Disciple. Spoilers for people that haven't read it, but she did, right? At the end, she died, and half of the fandom is like, yes. The other half is like, we'll bring another character back. It's like, dude, let's just watch. Let's see what happens, and we'll get into it.
Dark Disciple is a weird one for me because that was the second canon book I read, second Star Wars book I read. So I don't have it like that fresh on my mind, and it wasn't as impactful as when I read Bloodline, which was the first one. Right, Roberto? So what was I saying?
It wasn't as impactful that first time.
So I don't remember it as much as I remember Bloodline. So like when I first saw Asajj, I was like, this doesn't make any sense. But then I was reminded that at the end of the book, Quinlan and Obi-Wan take her body to Dathomir and throw it into a pool of black goo and
which man
green smoke. So like, is she alive? Like, if someone's gonna be alive, I think it was her. Because
I got my bad shirt on. I should have said.
And again, I saw people freaking out. We literally just got a scene of Thrawn looking at the camera and being like, "Yeah, Jedi and Night Sisters don't really die."
He just resurrected like 150 stormtroopers into zombies. So what are we complaining about?
Yeah.
And we don't know first when this takes place. Right? Is this a
It could be a
flashback? I doubt it. But like you said, if someone's gonna come back, it makes sense that is this person that was dipped in this witch pool or whatever. Especially because a lot of scenes in that book take place in that cavern or whatever in Dathomir, and there's magic involved. And we spend a lot of time with witches, like you said in Ahsoka with Thrawn. Do we see Morgan Elsbeth in some way having something to do with bringing Asajj Ventress back? I think it's a cool way to connect with Mandalorian, with Ahsoka, and connect the Bad Batch a little bit to it.
I mean, it could be cool. We don't know what she's doing at that point, but like, Night Sister Mirren is hanging out in Dathomir all alone, being sad. So I know you haven't played Fallen Order or Survivor, but yeah, she's awesome and she's there.
I know who Merrin is, and then you bring Cal and the whole group and all that stuff.
Ooh, Cal to save the day.
Yeah.
Dale is saying, I'm over the top about Ventress being back. Most people should understand by now that it's Night Sister magic if they've read the book, or were upset and following things by now. Okay, so I mean, like, I get. Don't get me wrong, I really do understand the whole death should be final thing. Like, yeah, I get it, but like, if you have a story reason to bring the character back, like, it's not gonna take away what happened in the book. Like, it's still there, and you have the what's her name? She's like the head writer of the show.
Every time I see it, Jennifer Corbett or something. Jennifer Corbett, yeah,
it's Corbett. She came out and said, like, hey guys, I've read the book.
It's in StarWars.com. It's right there because they knew that people are gonna freak out. It's like nothing that happens here is gonna change the book. And people, that's my next question. Are we retconning Dark Disciple and we're going crazy without seeing what happens in the show? That's why it irks me. It's the reaction to something that we haven't seen yet. Like, dude, let's just wait. Save your outrage for a little bit later.
We have Clips Films Melbourne saying Ventress is the character that refuses to die. She is too stubborn to die.
Thanks for joining us.
I mean, look at Maul. He's from Dathomir too, and he survived. He survived for 10 years based just on hatred.
And we took that as a reasonable
That's
answer.
So
right?
cool.
Yeah, but in Ventress. Just so
Boba Fett was dead until he wasn't.
For 30
Maul was
years.
dead until he wasn't. Like,
Sidious was dead until he wasn't.
Palpatine was dead until he wasn't. Like, it's a Star Wars thing. Like, I'll be the first to be like, I don't want Ben Solo back, but if he comes back, he comes back. Like, I'm not gonna complain.
Are you gonna complain if Quinlan Vos comes back? So he's not dead. He got mentioned in Kenobi. He's part of the Path. What's Dale?
Dale says that in the EU and came back to life. So again, they're bringing back the. Oh, look at this! Jocasta Nu died in Revenge of the Sith, and she came back to life again. So,
well, that was a cool scene. Also, you gotta read that Vader comic when she fights Vader with a lightsaber rifle. Jocasta, who knew? Who knew she was a badass? So, kind of bringing it back to Quinlan Vos. We know he's alive. He got mentioned in Kenobi as being part of the Path, saving the Jedi that survived Order 66. If you read Dark Disciple, you know he had a romantic relationship with Asajj Ventress. Very, I was gonna say bum, but that's not enough of a word to see what he was feeling when she died and took the time with him and Kenobi, like you said, to take her to Dathomir. It makes a lot of sense to bring those two characters together. And again, not being the biggest fan of either of them, I want to see that reaction, right? I've been dead for I don't know how many years to find them. And could Asajj Ventress and Vos kind of start this path of saving Jedi? Could she be involved? And we see how that begins.
I thought it would be cool if the end game for the clones, because I think that's a lingering question. What's going to happen with the clones?
Mm-hmm.
I thought it would be cool if they like devote their lives to help the path. I think thematically what makes sense, like, hey, we live with this guilt that we destroyed the Jedi, so let's make sure we help the next generation like escape and be safe. I think that would be cool. I have like a very cynical vision right now, and it's not really cynical. I would love it if this is what actually happens. What if like Star Wars animation is a big thing. Like we've had a constant show. We've had an animated show constantly for the last couple of years. So we're due a new one, I think, or we're not due anything. But
I understand.
If tradition is a thing, like it would happen. What if we get like an animated path show with Quinlan Voss and Asajj Ventress? Like that'd be awesome.
That'd be awesome. And it will bring all the fans from the Clone Wars, all the fans from the Bad Batch, all the fans that love Jedi stuff and want to know why are there so many Jedis. This is a way to explain that. One thing that animation and a lot of those writers and producers and whatever, they do well is combine all these stories, right? They're not, I get a cool story, let me just throw it out. They know how to interweave all these different kind of plots out there. So it wouldn't surprise me that this either might lead to a new show or that it combines or connects to some of the other shows that we've seen so far, especially because we kind of believe that Lucasfilm has tried to, I don't want to go too far to say the MCU route of building this kind of interconnected universe. Maybe the Mandoverse a little bit, but again, wouldn't surprise me if they try to connect this a little bit to the other shows and then, who knows, connect to the Mando movie. And again, why would just mention Quinlan Voss as a Easter egg for people in Kenobi? And then, like you said, hey, there's a cool story now we can tell with Quinlan and with Ventress in animation. And yeah, so we know they're going to Coruscant, at least the Bad Batch we saw in the trailer. And a lot of people are saying, is this the clone revolution? Maybe we see that clone revolution at least to just say, hey, whoever's alive, whoever didn't subscribe to Order 66, yeah, let's help the surviving Jedi out there.
I think this will be heartbreaking. It would be cool if we got like the last stand of the clones. Like,
yeah,
everyone's in Pablo. Like, here's the Empire. Like, we're not gonna go down without a fight.
It's gonna be so sad because we know the end result. I mean, the Sword Troopers obviously at the end will win, but maybe some of them survive and escape.
Star Wars has always found clever ways around, like, oh, you think this is gonna happen? No, I think Ahsoka is a prime example.
Sure.
Maybe they'll do the same with the clones. Like, yeah, no, they fought their war and they retired, and
yeah, we don't know how many clones are left. We know that some obviously are still helping the Empire, the ones that are okay with it, but we don't know how many are against it. So maybe it's like 50 or 60. Yeah, they can go be bodyguards for the surviving Jedi.
Yeah.
So speaking of people coming back and surviving death and all that, nobody know death. Are we seeing tech? I'm trying to. There's a lot of chatter. There's some weird new troopers in that trailer with weird helmets that have a little things on the side with a backpack. Do you think Tech has been mind wiped or something, and now he's working with the Empire, or Tech's dead? Let's leave him dead. Again, nobody. I mean, I didn't want to see a dead Tech on the floor. That might be too much for "quote unquote" a kid show. But
Joseph Scrimshaw from Force Center put like an idea forward that I thought would be interesting because it would be very thematically rich, but also I think it could be heartbreaking. What if like we get a Tech clone?
Okay.
Like it looks like Tech,
clone,
but it's not, or a clone that was modified to be like Tech or something, or like I don't know, or a clone with Tech's brain. I don't know, whatever. But like, I think he's gonna be back in some way.
I agree. At the end of last season, I was kind of imagined if they took someone I was gonna be Tech, and at that point I was saying, hey, if he's dead, don't bring him back. Just it has that emotional weight. But again, all these writers, they know how to, I don't say go around the story, but they know how to bring things together.
Maybe maybe they brought back Asajj just to be like, hey, if you got over Asajj, here's Tech again.
But if he comes back, it will be something that's gonna hit them emotionally. It might be his mind is all messed up. Maybe they do the same thing they did with Echo to kind of mind wipe or brain wiping, whatever, brainwash. Sorry. So if he comes back, it's gonna take a while to kind of remind him of who he was. And all those scenes with Omega in that center, we saw Hemlock, we saw the other woman that works there that says she was also a clone. It's Omega's sister.
I forgot about that.
I forgot about. I just read someone that posted it because I forgot 100% about it. And I'm more and more in that camp that Omega is going to be able to bring Crosshair back. At least I think Crosshair is coming back. 100%. Even though since season 1 I've been on the keep Crosshair bad camp. I think for the story that it seems that they're telling, it makes sense to kind of, now that you have Omega and Crosshair there, I think she's the one that can bring him back. And hopefully it's not that he sacrifices himself to save Omega. Maybe he kind of does something. I think by the end of this, the whole batch is going to be back together. I think no one is dying from that group. I think all of them are surviving somehow with a lot of scars, but I think they'll be okay by the end.
We'll see. I think yes. I think Crosshair. I really hope they don't kill him. Like,
yeah,
I'm really tired of that trope. So we'll see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Tech is the biggest question mark if he's coming back or not. But again, when they give us those weird looking stormtroopers with weird armor, let's not show the face. It might be something. There might be something.
I mean, to their defense, we've seen thousands of stormtroopers and clone troopers that we've never seen their face.
I know, but it's the way that trailer is cut. And again, this is people's job how to cut trailers to get us to talk about it. I think it was around the time we saw, because they showed Tech falling just to remind us and break our hearts again. Then we see this clone, or this trooper, I should say. Anyway, a lot of cool imagery that we got. I mean, the animation in that show has been untouchable since the beginning. The music, of course.
Kind of crazy.
Yeah. Boba Fett. Are we going to have a reunion of Alpha and Omega? I'm going to say no. We don't need... I mean, not that we don't need it, but...
I think it's a little bit too late for that.
Yeah.
I don't know how fast Omega and the Bad Batch are going to be back together. I think maybe by the halfway point of the show,
probably half of the season,
or maybe it happens in the first episode.
Like Mando, right? Season 2, yeah, we're done.
It's over 2 episodes in.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like, I don't think that's the path this story is going.
The path. He has history with Asajj Ventress, of course, but I don't think it kind of. I don't know. We'll see. I don't see it. And I love my Boba Fett, as you know. All right, let's talk about the Emperor. You mentioned how prevalent he was in the episode, in the trailer.
Importance.
Yeah, so he goes to say, I won't do the voice. I'll try. There is nothing of greater importance to secure the future of this empire. Whatever is needed to accomplish this goal, you will have it. Who is he talking to?
Hemlock.
What's his goal? I know in the trailer it looks like it's Hemlock. So what's this? Is it cloning? So it connects to the sequel trilogy and Mando? Is it some weird weapon? Star Killer? That's more for Resistance.
The Solo Beast. I don't know. I think maybe he could be like talking to Hemlock in private and being like, hey, I want you to make me a body. Like that.
I need a lot of tubes with green goo.
We'll call him Snoke.
Maybe he sees Asajj Ventress is back and says, I want some of that green goo from where she came from. Yeah. That's the reason Asajj is back, so Sidious can come back 30 years.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what he wants. Again, he could be talking about cloning. He could be talking about the Death Star. I think he's talking about cloning and him being like the Empire. Me.
Of course. It makes I don't want to say makes sense, but all the different options. So the Death Star, I think we got plenty of stuff that's already covering that. We don't need someone else to be dealing with the Death Star.
Mm-hmm.
It's not Thrawn with his TIE, whatever defenders that he was doing. So it kind of makes sense cloning. This is a show about clones. There's a lot of clone talk in Mandalorian. Of course, a sequel trilogy. We got him back with all his cloning stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes sense to do something about cloning. What is it that I don't know? It's Grogu. Let's get Grogu in there. He's alive at this point.
That'd be weird, but okay.
Do you hope that this show keeps the kind of adventure of the week with a little bit of that main storyline peppered in, and then usually the final couple of episodes kind of hit big? Or do you think that this season is gonna be more kind of, yeah, we gotta rescue Omega, we gotta do all this other stuff, and we won't get those kind of side missions? I really hope they do.
Adventure of the Week isn't really my cup of tea and never has been, so I hope they drift away from that, but the show has never done that, so I'm not really expecting it to. I'm expecting it to follow its formula until the end. Like, why wouldn't they?
Yeah. I do enjoy a lot of those kind of silly episodes. I love the faster episode, that racing one from last season. I know you didn't like it. I really enjoyed it. We know that Fee is back. She had a lot to do with tech. She's this kind of pirate out there, so it wouldn't surprise me if we get a few episodes of her needing them to find some old relic. I can't remember how it ended with, I forgot the name, all the Trandoshan they used to work for.
What was her name?
Whatever her name is. Someone in the chat, just tell us. Did that kind of closed up? That storyline closed up? I think she was still, I know she threw them under the bus by the end, but I thought that she was still around. So maybe that comes back at some point. All right. So do you think, I kind of think that everyone's going to be okay by the end. Do you think we might lose one of the main group? Hunter, Wrecker?
I think if we lose one, it's gonna. Could you imagine if they all die?
We're here saying, yeah, they'll be okay. They'll create the path and they'll help. No,
we get a Rogue One ending where they all start dying one by one in that final battle.
That would, man, I would cry. It'll be weird, but I mean, if they do it right, it'll be extremely impactful, like Rogue One. I really hope not. I don't.
No, I hope. I really hope clones need a happy ending.
Yeah, they won't kill Omega. That will be too much.
No, it'd be super weird.
All right, so this is what, less than a month to go, about 3 weeks. February 21st, we get those 3 episodes again on a Wednesday, I think. I don't know. They haven't come out to say if this is dropping again at 2 in the morning, like a lot of shows did. It's going to be at 9 Eastern, like Ahsoka, and some of the more recent Disney Plus shows. So we'll wait for that announcement. All right, Toti, anything else about the Bad Batch you might want to talk about? We might have forgot to mention.
No, I'm excited. Like, Bad Batch hasn't been close to my favorite animated show or my favorite Star Wars show, but it's a fun time. Like, the story has been perfectly solid and consistent since the first episode. So yeah, excited for more. Yeah,
Bad Batch is one of those shows that a lot of people love. I got my brother texting me when the trailer dropped. He's of the recent Star Wars TV shows or anything that's come out, this has been his favorite. And he said, the return of my favorite Star Wars, whatever, the past few years. So a lot of people really enjoy this show. And it looks like it's going to end on a strong note. Hopefully, and again, I think we mentioned last week, it doesn't affect me when 2 shows from the same company come out at the same time. I know a lot of people don't want that. So we'll see. We won't get the Acolyte is coming in April, and then it comes out at the same time. I would love to have the Acolyte. All right, so read chat. All right, let me see. What's in the chat?
There's a lot of things in the chat. I'll pick some randomly.
All right.
There's a Jedi Season 2. I want to see Barriss Offee Faith in canon since Filoni left her as a cliffhanger. I prefer Order 66 deleted scene in Revenge of the Sith comic to me it makes sense to the movie. Yeah, Barisafi is like that lingering question we all have, like, what happened to Barisafi? Is she alive? Is she dead? Like, I really like that character, so I hope that story is told. It's been a while. Like, I think like every time something in this time area
there.
or Ahsoka related, like, she's coming. No,
she saved Grogu. She was Marok at some point. She's been everywhere. I mean, Tales of the Jedi season 2, it's a story that everyone's kind of been anticipating. And now with the reveal of Ventress, a lot of people are saying, "Oh, this is opens it up for season 2 to be Ventress, get something with Boss." And Barrett Sophie, like you said, again, not one of my favorites. But her story is up in the air, so it makes sense that if you're gonna tell it, this is the perfect way to tell it. You don't need to make a whole series. It doesn't need to be just one episode in another television show. So give me 2 episodes with Barry Sophie and see where she went after her dispute with Ahsoka.
They're also saying like it would be cool if they let the Silo Beast escape in Mount Tantus. Like, I think there's an episode called Shadows of Tantus or something like that. Like, I really want to see more of that base and what's really going on there.
So we got that Silo Beast in an episode in season 2. I'm guessing they took it to Mount Tantus, and then that's it, right? We haven't seen it again.
Well, in the finale of season 2, that's where Omega is.
No, I mean the Silo Beast. After it came back in season, we haven't seen it. So it, again, makes sense if you're gonna bring this weird beast that has a lot of history and background. Has to be some plan with it.
I just got an image of have you seen the movie Cabin in the Woods?
Cabin in the Woods, no. Oh, okay. Cabin in the Woods, yes.
Cabin, not
that's
Kevin.
The one. I mean, who cares? Okay, that's the one with Hemsworth and a bunch of people. Yeah, I got the finale spoiled because I hadn't watched it. So when the big reveal happened, I kind of knew. But yeah, I did watch it.
So you did watch it. So you know when they get into the facility, they let everything loose, all the creatures.
Yeah,
it'd be cool if we got like a Star Wars version of it.
Oh man, yeah, give me some Rathtars also just running around. It'll be nice. It'll be a bunch of weird creatures just destroying Stormtroopers and Hemlock, and then one of the freaking Camino ones just trying to get away with the long necks gets chomped off. I watched Troll from Netflix this morning. Talking about weird creatures. We're mentioning weird creatures coming out of a mountain. There's one. There's gonna be a big troll in Star Wars. All right, I think that's it for today.
That's it for today. Okay.
And is there anything woe between fandom? You want to talk about the Oscars and the big Barbie controversy?
No.
All right, the creator got nominated, so there you go, something.
Good for them. Great movie. I loved it.
Yeah. Let me see. There's nothing else Star Wars that's really come out this past few days. Roberto was in the chat. I don't know if he's still there. He's doing an art piece for Ventress and Boss. Little romantic piece. So check that out when he finishes it. Let me see this last one from Dale saying, I could totally see Nala Se get access to a Silo home, selling guide, and creating havoc in Tantis. If that played out in your head like it did mine, it's too funny. Yeah.
Yes.
Just make it like and then they convert Tantis to a Jurassic World type and just bring people in. And then it just makes sense with the fair on Vala and all the creatures that come out from that zoo. It's all about the creatures.
Oh, look who's here. He's still here. Roberto. Yeah. Hi, Roberto. Thank you for still being here.
Yeah. All right. I think I'm still looking at his Darth Maul piece that I got last year. It was great. All right. So that's it for this week and for everyone to joining us today. Let me make sure I don't miss anyone. Roberto, Dale, Clips Film from Melbourne, and Brennan. Thanks to everyone for being here this week. Like I mentioned earlier, we'll be back next week with the 25th anniversary of Star Wars Podcast Day. We're going to be talking about the Phantom Menace. So if you're watching this now, you can tweet us, email, DM, whatever. Your kind of reminder, your memory of watching the Phantom Menace for the first time. If you were alive and going to movie theaters in 1999, or the first time that you watched it, what stuck with you, good or bad. I will talk about all that next week. All right, Oti, people know where to find you, and I put the the
Bat Wolf
Bat Wolf Network link also down in the description of the video.
broadcast. The Bat Wolf broadcast.
It's not my show. I'm sorry, I messed up. Bat Wolf broadcast. You can find it there when it comes out on Tuesdays, right? Every Tuesday. Is that the plan?
That's the plan for now.
That's the plan for now. All right, guys. So see you next week. Stay safe. Be safe. And we're not big on following orders. See ya.